What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Monday, it's March 2nd. Very excited to be here. It's March 2nd, and the beard has entered the chat. That's right, guys. I'm going back to the bearded Curtis Wow. He is here. He is happening. He is happy. He is healthy. How are you guys doing today? It's a Monday. Welcome back to another Deadly Decks playtest. We had a great week last week. Just to recap, ended up putting in the weakness fire type of attacks. Pretty interesting. Have some additional ideas on that this week. I talked to James, who does the artwork on this and co-designs this game with me. We were really thinking about putting in also resistance, because if we have weakness, why wouldn't we have resistance? So that's pretty exciting. We're going to look at doing some of that a little bit later this week. We also looked at like a bunch of new card ideas. So feeling really good at this point. We've been testing 3 out of the 10 heroes at this point. Hold on, this is a little loud. Been testing 3 of the 10 heroes so far. Kira, Ashmar, and Rowan. And we're getting them pretty good. Like, they're in a very great spot. Like, over the last week, we had a lot of moments where characters were kind of like crossing over each other and making things happen together. We want way more of that. A lot of really good moments too with balancing that are starting to happen, where I'm getting that feeling where when I make a mistake in the game punishes me, instead of what it kind of felt a lot like before, where we just had, oh, okay, great. You rolled and you got a failure, and that means you're dead. So we had a lot of that before, and this game now has a pretty big change to it. Has it coming out where it feels a lot more your fault. You blame the user at this point. You can really blame the user for this. And that's a good feeling when the person playing blames themselves, which is a terrible thing as a game designer. Game designers are, I don't know if we're good people in a sense. We're always trying to like get people to do things through rules. But look, we're not politicians, so we got that going for us. Maybe. But anyway, here we are. Okay, I'm going to drop a little link here for some people to join up, say hi, hang out with us, say what's up. Where's my guy? My guy's all the way down here. You could be joking me. That's not going to happen. Let me make a little Discord announcement. While I'm here, I'm going to fix the Discord invite code, because that seems to be a problem too. I should probably put that on the description too as we move forward. That would probably be a good idea. Oh, wow. Get this going. And then, yeah, let me see about fixing this. Let me see about fixing this server. Everyone keeps saying that the server invites do not work. Send a code to a friend. Edit the invite link. Generate a new link. Expires never. Rolls. I think I did it. All right, well, I don't know. I think the Discord link is working. I'm going to drop it here in the chat. I think we got it. And guys, today is a momentous occasion. It's the 10th Deadly Decks playtest. It's great. I'm really proud of that. It's really hard to stay consistent when you're doing this kind of like social posting stuff. So I'm really proud of doing that. It's challenging. Yeah, you make the thumbnail. You got to find out why the bit rate is too low. You got to set up the Discord server. But I'm sticking with it. And the rewards have been really unbelievable. Feeling like I get to work on this game with cool people during the day, each day, and making like a lot of progress on this game too, which is really exciting. So why don't we just get into it? Let's see, is this it? We're getting there. We're getting there. Give it time. All right, let's take a look. So today, I'm feeling like, again, this week, I feel like we're going to be moving on from some of these characters for now. We've played Rowan, Ashmar, and Kira, I mean, daily almost at this point. And they're feeling pretty good. And I feel like some of the other characters are going to need some love pretty soon. Can't just keep focusing on these guys over and over again. This move past this song. There we go. So yeah, we've been working on these three characters. I'm curious to know if the bitrate has improved at all on this. We're gonna find out. I made some changes to the settings for YouTube today. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like it's the same as it was before. Still fully unreadable. Still have not figured this out. Not cracked the code on this yet. Why it looks so blurry? I don't know. Drop the latency. Thought I would have had it, but no. All right, I'll keep my eyes on it. But if we reload this, yeah, it's no better. I mean, it's a little better, I guess. No, it's still really fuzzy. All right, well, as I was saying, we've played with these three characters before. Kira, where's your stuff? You like left all your stuff behind? Girl, you need your stuff. We're going to start playing these guys, putting them all together, setting them up. But I do feel like we're pretty close to being able to start playing with some other characters because these guys are feeling pretty good, actually. Set these guys up kind of the way we always do. I do have a new change for Kira. That's something that we want to take a look at today. Oh my gosh. Ashmar and his torch. Ugh. Flashbacks. Flashbacks to last week when he totally blew it with the torch. That was hilarious. All right. So what we got going on here is some good stuff here. Everything's set and ready to be played. We have all of our characters set up. Whoa. That's a lot of stuff. There we go. Just move this over a little bit. Now, the one change we're going to do with Kira is going to be that she can now use her shield to block other creatures' damage to other heroes. I think this is going to be a really interesting aspect to this. So giving it a lot of thought. Bucket is the only character who maybe has a little bit of a problem with how this works, and we have to change his. Buckets had this thing where you could turn him, and he does this must protect where creatures only attack Bucket. And that feels very similar to what Kira would have, which is that instead of rerolls one fail, she would basically be able to use her shield to block damage from anyone, saving them. And that feels very similar. In fact, I actually don't think that it's different. I think that you could do that. And the more thought I've given to Bucket as well, I think Bucket's going to need a little something else other than creatures only attack Bucket. So, with that said, that screen is still super fuzzy. So is my camera. Camera's like more fuzzy than it was before. Well, streaming growing pains. Been through this before. We'll figure it out. But I increased the bitrate and I made a bunch of changes based on YouTube. And I thought I had something going here, but apparently not. All right, so let's go ahead and do this playthrough. It's going to be a quick one today because there's not a lot that I want to test right now. I feel like I said, all these guys are feeling really good. They're a lot of fun. I think giving Kira the ability to use a shield on anyone is really cool. And I think that will pay off really well. Yeah. All right, let's give it a shot. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle these guys. We're going to shuffle these guys. Shuffle all the cards. We don't have to shuffle those. But I feel very confident this week that we're going to be moving on to some different characters. I don't think we're ready to use any magic dealers yet. These are the magicians, the swearers. We don't have I want to keep them where they are until we really get the other guys down, feels like. So maybe next week we'll do something like Orin and Eris and Bucket. All right, let's see what we can do here. We're going to go ahead and draw one of the, well, we're here. We're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab our 6 events, drag them down here. We'll make Kira the leader. Yeah, that always makes the most sense. And let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to draw our first card, flip it. We've got the graveyard. Starting to feel like these cards are like, you know, I'm familiar with them at this point. He is back. What's up, Raymond? He is back. The real Marshall Mathers is in the house. This is what Slim Shady always wanted to be, a game designer. All right, we have our cursed graveyard. Gonna draw 2 of these guys. 1, 2, flip them. Got Seekers and Skulls. These are both undead creatures. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge because if these guys are dead and the encounter does not end within a round, they respawn and come back to life, which is a problem. Yeah, that's not a darkness thing because I was gonna say maybe Ashmar's torch could help us, but it's not. Nope, we don't need you to rewind time. No, that's, can this thing go away? No. I mean, that's cute that they have it. Okay, there we go. Got it. It's cute that they have that. All right, let's do that again. Do my little tracer move right there, I guess. Rewind my time. All right, here we go. Let's get this popping. Seekers are a mob. That means their damage is their current health. So they're 4/4 right now, and this guy's a 4/1. This guy attacks the slowest, which is going to be Kira, as usual. And the Seekers will attack... They don't have one. So what could we put? Seekers could attack the... I kind of like the idea of the least smartest. Trying to get them to attack different people. Let's try it. They're going to attack the least one. Oh my gosh. Detroit? Michigan? 8 Mile? Raymond, did you grow up in 8 Mile? All right, let's go and see who's going to do what. We're going to get Kira to do her basic attack. If she gets a crit, it's a plus. Oh, all right, that's a great way to start the morning. Let's do that. That's not good. She missed. Rowan's going to hit the skull because that's a flying creature, which takes a -1 if you do not have a ranged weapon. Right now, Rowan is the only one who has a ranged weapon. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, he gets a 1. That's 1 damage. Not great, but at least these guys are getting a slow start today. And Ashmar. Oh, that double. I wish I could turn off that. Is there a way in the settings to turn that off? Controls? What is zoom in? This one. Mouse wheel down, mouse wheel up. Zoom toggle. One of these is, I think it's this zoom toggle. Mouse 2. Trying to see what button is it, because it's like tied to 2 things. Grab, mouse 0, flip, secondary. I don't even know what that is. One of these though keeps doing this, like, and it like jumps in and zooms in on everything. Let me see. Let me see if I can remember how it works. If I hit that, yeah, it keeps doing this. Zoom in, zoom out. And I really want it to just be the mouse wheel. Seekers attack the hiders. Is that the least smart person? Let's see here. Okay, let's go back to that. What was that setting? I got to turn this thing off because it drives me crazy. Zoom toggle. I think that's what it is. Or it could be magnify. No, it's got to be this zoom toggle. Zoom toggle, mouse 2. All right, let's see if we turn it off. Mouse wheel down, mouse 2. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, let's just keypad minus. And now, yay, it's fixed. Now that's progress. Oh, feels so much better. I've been like so nervous to click it every time because it always does that like crazy grab. Okay, so nice. I can like completely move in and out and not have to worry about it doing that thing. All right, so Ashmar's gonna go. We could try to use the fire, but nobody has a weakness to fire. They're all skulls. So he's gonna actually do research then. Let's get him to do research. And he gets 1 research. Now, he still has some things that I'm trying to figure out with how he generates research, because if it's his turn and you turn him, he generates 1 research token. Then can he place that research token right now? And if he does, how long does it last? My feeling about this is, because I really got to lock him down. How does he work? I feel like on his turn, you can turn him to do research. And then you generate 1 research token. And on that turn, you can place that research. Because basically what's happening is you turn him, he looks in his book and says, oh, I see where you can hit these guys and get more damage. And then you can place it on a turn. And while he's turned like this, if he gets hit, he's going to take extra damage. And one of these, I think I said, but I'm not sure if he also gets hit like that. But he definitely takes +1 damage. Now, the thing of it is, this is the end of the turn. And since it's the end of the turn, the monsters get to attack, and then this gets wiped away, which means this would not be useful. So, what I'm contemplating also is a +1 doesn't scale very well over time. Like, I don't want to just get a +1 on a damage when I'm so far into the game and I'm getting like creatures that have like 18 hit points. So if the cards face a certain direction, it changes them. Yeah, so this is like in Magic the Gathering, they have this thing called tapping. So this is like tapped. In Magic the Gathering, it usually means exhaustion. Like this card has been like, you can no longer use it, or it was used to attack. I'm trying to play with that aspect of it and not just make it exhaustion, but make it like status. Like you can flank, he can flank. If he's turned like this, he's flanking. So that it means different things for different characters. But the other thing that I am running into is how to indicate exhaustion as well. So, but I don't know. I don't think we need to worry about exhaustion yet. So Ashmar is researching, but I made a huge mistake in that I should have had him researching at the beginning of the turn, so that way I could have put a research token or a hit token on one of these guys. Now, here's where I think Ashmar could be really cool, is even though I didn't place the research token yet, if it stays in his book, he can amass multiple ones and then spend them all on the turn. That seems useful. And then maybe over time, he can, generate additional research. I'm not sure how, but some kind of power scaling so that this actually works really well throughout the whole game. That's kind of where I'm at with like how this would work. So I'm going to go with that. Let me just recap one more time. I know I'm like going to go over a lot of stuff I just said, but I'm trying to just organize my thoughts around this game idea. The way Ashmar works is he has his compendium. When Ashmar is researching, which means he's vulnerable to additional attacks or damage, on his turn, he will generate a research token. Now, if you don't spend that research token, it just stays there until the next turn, where if he's in research mode, we'll generate another token. I'm going to put a limit of 3. So I'm going to say like past 3, he cannot generate more. So you could get up to 3 and then that's it. Like you did 3 rounds of this. You're not going to get like 7 or 10 or something like that. So max up to 3. I should be writing this all down. Where's my AI Gemini chill person that's supposed to tell me how? Don't worry, I'll write all these down for you. Yeah, well, you're not. March 2nd. Can you believe it, guys? All right, so March 2nd, Ashmar, research mode, turn. There goes the trash trucks. Research mode turned. On turn, generates 1. Oh yeah, they're always here on Monday, and it always makes me feel like the start of my week. I don't know, maybe it's a good thing. They're taking out my emotional garbage. Okay, I'm gonna do this right here so you guys can see how I take notes and stuff. Let's see, let's zoom this in a little bit. But I usually just use Notepad, put all my game notes in here. Although I have been messing around with Gemini Notebook LLM. I don't know if you guys have messed with that, but I've been taking all these notes and just dumping it in there. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm kind of curious to see what it does when I just keep dumping all of my playtest notes in it. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so when research mode turned to activate, takes +1 damage if hit. Unsure if he... No, he doesn't take a miss token. No miss token. You have to get he would have to roll to get a miss token. That doesn't make any sense that he would get a miss. So he just takes +1 damage if he's hit. On the turn, generates 1 research, call it a miss token. Miss token. Hello, Miss Token. Oh, Nice to meet you, Miss Token. On turn, generate 1 research or Miss Token. Don't forget to thank the AI for doing this. One day it will get you. I always do, actually. It's just part of my nature. Although sometimes I get snippy with it. But I think that's just normal. Like, hey, we're human beings. All right. You generate 1 research token. On the same turn, Ashmar can put Miss Token on a creature, and if a hero hits that creature takes +1 damage times the number of Miss Tokens on it. Just writing down all the little nuanced details here. At the end of the turn, all creature placed research Miss tokens are removed. Ashmar can also store up to 3 tokens on the compendium. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this a lot. This feels really right, and let me tell you why I feel that way. I always, working on this game now, I'm starting to see that my brain does this pattern, jumping between like left brain and right brain. Part of me wants to see, like, is this mechanic interesting? Is it fun? What does it do? How does it work? Make sure it's not broken. And then the other side just keeps coming back to wanting all the cards to just feel like, when you consider how they work, you're never like, oh, like, what's this? Minigun, +1 damage to armored vehicles. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff where when you play games, you just start to recognize that the theme is like over here, and then the mechanics are over here. And you're kind of like looking at each card and recognizing that only in very certain circumstances are these 2 things very close together, where you're seeing a card and the way it works and going, oh, like, that's really cool. I give you a really good example, actually. Lorcana had some really good ones. Lorcana had a really good card, and I honestly, I can't remember which one it was, but it was from the movie Aladdin, and they had this card. I'm still trying to track down which one it is, because I actually want to hang it up in my office because it was so inspirational to me. But it had to do something with like the Sultan, and when you use guards, like, the guards protect the Sultan. I'm not doing this card any justice at all, but there's these moments in games where you really feel like the mechanics are so close to like the storytelling that you can't tell the difference. You're like, oh wow, like, this character really works in this system the way that they would work if you were telling a story. What's up, Sam? Yo, I'm loving this reunion, guys. Thanks for hanging out. So all that to say, I keep coming back to, how do these cards work? And if someone was playing this and really thought about the mechanics, I don't want them to walk away with like, oh, you know, like, the cards are cool and the system's cool, but the theme doesn't really make sense. Instead, I'm really trying to make this, and I feel like this makes a lot of sense. Like, if we talked about it from a story perspective, Ashmar opens his book, right? Like, he's sitting here, these guys attacked, and Ashmar's like, wait a second, hold on, guys. I think I know something. These guys are all like, eye roll, eye roll. Look at him. He's like, oh, Ashmar again. And he's like, no, wait a second. Goes into research mode, which he's unprotecting himself. So if he gets hit, he's going to take a +1 damage, right? narratively makes sense. He's not just taking more damage because of some arbitrary rule. He's literally like doing something vulnerable and he's not paying attention. Then he's like, oh, wait, I found something. And then you get it. And then he could be like, oh, if you hit the Seekers on their phalanges, I think that's what they're called. I love that word. Then you guys will be able to do additional damage to it, right? And then if Kira misses, then like maybe she didn't believe him or it didn't work or whatever, but now they don't know. And maybe that opportunity doesn't present itself again. So I'm really feeling like, and then the other part of it too is like, if Ashmar does research on a turn and then they're like, okay, so what'd you find? And he's like, no, hold on. And then his next turn, he's like, I found it, but I'm still, I think this is going to be pretty cool. Then they're like, Ashmar, seriously, what did you find? And then he's like, okay, I found it. This is turn 3. And then he's like, oh, if you stab them in their red eyes, you'll kill them, basically. Right? You see how cool that is? I feel like out of all of this, being completely like trying to be as unbiased as I can be, I think the idea of these going away at the end of a turn is like the least narrative point of it. But in my view, I was kind of thinking that Ashmar calls out things he sees in battle in the moment. So he's like, oh, there's this thing, and like maybe the eye is available to be sliced at this moment. And I know I'm like reading into it a little bit more, and maybe like it's worthwhile to write down, like, I think there's like a sliding scale of how narrative a mechanic feels, but I feel like this feels very, very narrative for him to do this. Anyway, that's my, what, why this thing again? Okay, thank you. Ooh, Sam. All right. No, phalanges is a real word. Like, the way that I narratively rationalized it is, let's say he saves up his research and he's like, oh, wait, I know I did find something. There it is. If you hit them in the eyes, but you know, the card is one image. So the way I rationalize it is he waits and then maybe this thing leaps up in one turn. And he's like, there it is. If you hit it in the eye, you can like really almost like kill the whole thing. And then let's say Kira tries to do it, but she misses. Wonder if there's like a way to actually like make the dice. And she misses, then this all goes away because maybe that thing's eye is no longer visible or something. Again, I think like, you know, you could try to make it as narrative as possible. So I kind of feel like maybe you have to take one little step to be like, oh, it makes sense that the research goes away after one turn. That he's kind of like the quarterback calling. Oh, phalanx. The word of the day. Phalanges is multiple though. Wouldn't it be a phalanx? All right, yeah. That does sound like a word Ashmar would use too. Guys, if you hit it in the phalanx, in the middle phalanx, you can cause it additional damage. I don't know how he speaks, but sure, why not? Rowan's like, I don't even know what a phalanx is. Kira turns her back to Ashmar. Oh, this guy again. But I feel like that he's right, and then they're surprised. Let me check this out. What do we got in Creative Cave? Yeah, you guys are putting stuff in Creative Cave? Oh, wow. This sounds pretty cool. Let's see. The phalanges are the tops of the fingers, and what, a phalanx is just one? Oh, there's some stuff here I missed. I gotta go check it out. What? This is pretty cool. Is this a plugin, Sam? Oh, wow. So these green boxes are like how you set up the cinematics, how you set up where they move. I might start making a Roblox game very soon, actually, so this is pretty cool to see. Sam, nice work, dude. That's pretty cool. Are you vibe coding it? Get a doctor in the chat to call us stupid for not knowing it. Sam, is this your game? Or like, are you working for like a team or something? All right. Ashmar, coming back to this, Ashmar did generate 1 point of research, but because I used him at the end, he doesn't get a chance to use it. This is going to be a little painful, guys. Do we say the Seekers? Raymond, do you remember? Did I say Seekers attacked the least intelligent hero? Because that would be Rowan. I'm going to do it. Rowan never gets really hit by anything. Sam said, well, the wedges are the camera parts to the regular colored parts are the waypoints. Right, yeah, so you set it up. It's my game, but I'm assembling a team for it. Wow, nice job, Sam. You gotta let me know when that pops off. Yeah, I might start working on some new games on Roblox. But I have a mobile app that I'm finishing up. Right now, it's a sleep app. Helps people fall asleep. And so I've been working on that lately, but I haven't really brought it up much because I'm just kind of waiting until it's like ready to go. But it's almost there. All right. So turn is over. Raymond said metacarpals are the bones in the middle of the hand, the palm, if that's what we were meaning. Oh, the eye and the metacarpals. All right, let's get back to these guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and say they attack the slowest character. That's kind of like what they look like. So slowest character and slowest character. Raymond, you've been working on a game for like a year? It's a Roblox game? This is going to be 4 damage to Kira, plus Kira's taking an extra damage. That's actually pretty rough. Kira's going to take the 4 damage. I'm just going to take both of these and flip them. Make the 4 damage. She's got 4 damage plus... No, what is happening? Are you serious right now, bro? That turns into... a peril tracker, and then we're doing 5. I've been also thinking about how to make it so that you can really track easily like how much damage your characters have. Thinking about how to do that. Oh, yeah. How close is it? Are you almost done? No. Usually when people say we've been working on it for a year, it means it's nowhere close to being done. It has a whole nother 7 years to go. Just like this game. What? I don't know. My friend Leo has this pool, but Roblox will announce it on release. Yeah, that's right. They're like networkers. You have these friends that weirdly know everyone. Yeah, they're like networkers. It's like really funny. They like know everyone and they can connect with everyone and all that stuff. All right, the skull is also going to attack the slowest. And so that's going to be Kira. So Kira's going to take another 1 damage on top of this. So there's that. Wow, interesting question. If Kira missed and she gets hit, does it count as a double miss? No, I think once she gets hit and takes the hit, then the damage goes back to normal. You see what I'm saying? Like, she had a miss token on her, got hit by the Seekers, which does +1, and then this flips. But then the skull hits her while she also missed, but it's not going to track. I think that would be too punishing to take a +1 for the entire round because you got one token. This tea is so good today. All right. The skull did the damage to Kira. Kira's wrecked. Sam said, biggest lesson I have learned these past few years from game development are: 1, don't announce a release date till the game is already fully finished and there are no bugs. Yeah. Yeah, the games industry is still learning that lesson, Sam, so I feel like you're ahead of the curve on this one. All right, we're starting a new round. Time to start a new round. This time, Ashmar's going to go first because Ashmar's going to generate a new amount of stuff here. And I'm going to put that on the skull. No. I'm going to put that on the Seekers. We really got to knock these guys down. So Ashmar's going to put 2 tokens of research on the Seekers. Kira's going to hit the Seekers. If she does 2 damage plus 2 research points. That would actually knock these guys out. Let's see if she can do it. Oh, that was an F. We're not going to take that. Okay, that's not bad. Regular attack does 2 damage plus the 2 here. That's a 4. This guy's done. See, that's pretty fun how Ashmar can do that. I'm curious to know what happens when Ashmar doesn't have, when people can attack Ashmar, if you'll still do the research, because no one can attack him right now. It's kind of like free research, right? So we'll see how that goes. This guy is 4 health, only going to attack 1 to Kira, the slowest. And Rowan is the only one who can actually do some decent damage here because he has a ranged weapon. Now, the thing is, I think with him, we already have 1 token of attack here. I could try to do this one, use his throwing knives, which would require us to exhaust them just for this encounter. He can't use them again. Narratively, it makes sense. He throws them and then he can't pick them up again until he finishes the battle. But we're going to try it. We're going to use these right now, roll and see. If I get a crit, I do 3 damage. Wow, that's great. He just did 3 damage and knocked the skull right out. Feels pretty good. All right. This can go back. Ashmar can go back. Kira, unfortunately, is taking quite a bit of damage. They should hire you for real. Yeah, you mean Roblox? I've tried, my guys. I've tried to get hired at Roblox, but I don't know. It's really tough to get in there. I've actually tried to get hired by a lot of places, guys. I almost made it into Blizzard, but I didn't. Just dashed all my hopes to become a pirate software name dropper. Oh, GTA. Oh, yes. Oh my god. You know what? It's so funny you say this. Dude, I was saying this before they even announced the launch date. I was saying that GTA 6, that I bet they're positioning themselves to take on Roblox, but actually not really Roblox. I think they're positioning themselves to take on Fortnite. I think that's who their real competitor is, because Roblox keeps trying to do this age up thing where they're like, which you're going to see a lot of this, I guarantee you. You're going to start seeing casinos and gambling for kids who are 18 years and older. And Roblox is like trying to force this to happen, which is just so disgusting, honestly. It's so gross to see a company that like could be just servicing like kids who actually need safe places to be online digitally and be able to play and have fun with their friends. And instead they're just so hell-bent on trying to retain the 18 and older crowd. They're like so desperate, it's disgusting. But I don't think that GTA is trying to actually cannibalize, well, not cannibalize, but take over that demographic. I think they're trying to take over the Fortnite demographic, because Roblox has a long road to go before they can keep 18 and plus. Like, that's just not going to happen. Yeah, that's you got to be born into Blizzard to get a job like Pirate Software did. That's true. That's true. Thanks, Dad. Thanks a lot, Dad. So I think, though, the delay, the specific delay for Grand Theft Auto, well, it comes from the fact that I think they really saw an opening being able to use GTA Online and turn it into Roblox. And I'm curious to see what happens with this, because I'm wondering how far they're going to go with it. Like, Fortnite was really smart in that they made UEFN. And so you can basically make a game, and it's very much like Roblox, so there's a lot more limited capabilities still. I mean, I haven't used it within the past year and a half, admittedly, but when I did use it, it had a long way to go. And these weren't things that could just be done overnight. But I do think that that GTA could very well, like if I was Fortnite right now, I'd be really concerned, because I have a feeling it's not going to be Roblox that's going to see the dip in users. It's going to be Fortnite that's going to see the biggest dip in users when Grand Theft Auto comes out. And I think it's going to be difficult for them, because they're in a position of privilege right now where they've had Fortnite, and Fortnite's been just coasting. And, you know, it's not like Fortnite has a lot of competition. I mean, you could argue that it has a lot of wannabe competitors, kind of like how the iPhone was back in like the 2010s. Every time a new phone would come out, it was, is this the iPhone killer? Is this the iPhone killer? Nothing killed the iPhone. Nothing. Like, nothing. You can't kill it. Done. It's like been done. It never died. And so I feel like with Fortnite, they're in a similar position where they've had a long time, like almost 10 years now, where there hasn't really been a competitor to Fortnite on the level of like mainstream recognition and relevance for the 18 and plus like group. So like, I'm honestly, not that I have emotional connections to any of these companies, but I do feel concerned for Unreal and Fortnite, because like, you about to get a haircut big time when that GTA drops. And if they're really going for, you can make your own area or you can make your own game, it's gonna be a tough one for Fortnite to maintain relevance on that. So we'll see. Yeah, we ended up playing a lot of Fortnite this year, accidentally. We went back in when K-pop Demon Hunters came out, and we always kind of play around Halloween. I don't know why, but Fortnite feels like you should, you know, it's fun to play Fortnite around Halloween. And so we've been playing a lot, and like this, I don't know what's going on with them, but ever since the Simpsons thing, this whole season has just felt like it's just phoned in. I don't know if they're planning something big. Maybe they're working on something to compete with Rockstar, and so they're really kind of like planning ahead. I actually was thinking that their whole California vibe map this season was actually directly designed to compete with Grand Theft Auto 6. Because if you look at the map from California, it's got major San Andreas vibes. Well, both of them have California inspirations, right? But why would they pick a location when they've never done a real life location? To my knowledge, they've never done a real life location in Fortnite. And then they did it when Rockstar said they were actually going to drop Grand Theft Auto. So I have this whole kind of like conspiracy theory thing where I feel like they had a lot more planned for this season. But when Rockstar actually delayed the game and they realized they weren't going to go head to head with Rockstar, they pulled tons of content out of this season and they're saving it for when Rockstar actually drops Grand Theft Auto 6 so that they can try to like, yeah, but look at us. Yeah, but look at us. Yeah, but look at us. Because like this season has had a couple cameos like The Office and South Park, but like even those, if you look at them, they're like, my opinion, pretty phoned in. Like they turned Wonky Land into Cartman's like amusement park for like a week, and it was just like a facelift. Like they literally just like dyed the hair and changed the colors of the amusement park. Not just a theory, a game theory. Yeah, Raymond, you're right on. I mean, Fortnite is what funds Unreal, so hopefully they have another way to keep earning without Fortnite. I mean, you would hope. You would hope. I probably should have just turned like my full cam on for this, because we're not really playing right now. But you know, these are things that I've been really thinking about. Like it is really strange to me that they chose California for this specific season. And they had never done that before. And then when you look at it, it's like, okay, well, that's when GTA 6 was going to drop. You know? So it's like, what was the idea there? Because they have to have ideas, right? Like they don't just like randomly throw a dart and go, California sounds cool. Why don't we do that? I mean, they could do any real life location. They picked California. And why did they do that? My feeling is, I think they were going to do some like a little bit like parody of Grand Theft Auto or something, because it's just too, I don't know. No, none of these things happen in the industry by accident. And yeah, so anyway, that's my thinking. I think they're nervous. I think Unreal's really nervous about GTA 6 dropping, because yeah, I think the only savings grace that they'll have as a company and as like an IP is like if they keep just going the like IP character route that they've been going. I gotta admit, the Simpsons was bonkers. Like Simpsons was a real moment that I haven't felt from Fortnite in years. That was wild. I don't know if you guys played that Simpsons one, but they turned the whole island into the Simpsons. That was just crazy. And I still feel like, wow, if they do stuff like that, yeah, like, okay, you know, if they just turn into like a giant ad machine where they're just showing like, you know, all this stuff. But, you know, how much of that can you keep doing before the game just gets diluted into what's the next IP you're going to show? You know what I mean? So I feel like with that, it's a little bit tricky too, because every time they do that, they're diluting their brand. You know, like Simpsons Takeover. Okay, great. Well, now we're playing a Simpsons game. It's not actually Fortnite. And I feel like one of the things that Fortnite struggles with is creating their own IP. You know, like at this point, they've had 10 years. How come like Peely doesn't have their own like Netflix show? You know what I mean? Not that they should, but I'm saying like they haven't like done stuff with those characters enough to create IP out of them, and they should have. Like some of those character designs, my God, you could make like an amazing storyline out of it. But I feel like they just really don't do anything with narrative in a big way. I don't know. I really get confused with them because they do these big moments where you're supposed to be like, whoa, the 7 or something, and then like, I don't know, the characters look like they were like a fake Halo knockoff game. Anyway, I don't know why I'm going on a rant, but I am. I guess today's playtest is Kurt ranting, I guess. Curtis Wow is just ranting. Sam said if I were them, I would be too. Yeah, I would be really nervous at this point. I mean, Fortnite is a once in a lifetime hit, and they didn't even make it themselves, right? And I don't mean that as a knock and shade. I'm saying like they didn't make it themselves, as in like it's not like they have the research and development game design team of like killer creatives who just know how to make amazing games and then came up with Fortnite, right? Like Fortnite was dead on arrival when it came out, and then they just copied PUBG, which is like, okay, great, like, you know, no problem. That's what people do in the games industry all the time. I have a problem with it, but you know, no problem with the industry. They copied it. And the problem with copying games like this, and this is what I've noticed a lot, there's a lot of cases where this happens, is that when creatives copy or a company copies game design in any way, shape, or format, they don't have it in their DNA, which means they can't replicate that hit. So there's like one, like for instance, if you look at Minecraft is a great example. Like Notch didn't initially create Minecraft in its final format. That was Infiniminer, actually. If you look it up on YouTube, which I don't know, nobody talks about it ever. Nobody even says anything. They just treat it as if Notch made it. But you look at Notch, he's a miserable human being. He's very angry, very mad. He's tried to make more games, but I think he always shelves them before they come out. Primarily because he modded Infiniminer into Minecraft. He modded it. Like he took the game Infiniminer and then modded it into what we now know as Minecraft, and that's great. But look, it means you're good at modding and you can create something new out of what something is there, and that's a very specific skill set. That's really great. But it doesn't mean that you're able to take something from nothing, right? Like out of nowhere, you're walking down the street, you come up with an idea, and then you can do it. That's another very specific skill set, right? So they're both valuable. But I find that like the problem with what you have at Unreal with Fortnite is like they didn't make Fortnite. So who on the team is creating games that are as good as Fortnite, that are going to allow them to take multiple hits and then get a grand slam like Fortnite, which takes multiple tries? You can't just like put out another hit and another hit. Great example of this is like Riot. They just apparently just laid off like 80 people for the 2X KO, which is really sad because it looks like a lot of love went into that game, and I was really impressed that they made it. But that game came out, didn't do well in the first 2 weeks, and then they just laid everyone off basically. So the thing is though, with Riot, that's a great case in point of guys that made their own game from scratch. You know, that was a Blizzard game, but they didn't take Warcraft and just make Warcraft out of it. They took Warcraft because the assets were there, and then they created the League of Legends game out of it. And you know, Blizzard could have had that, but they didn't. And so I feel like at League of Legends, like the League of Legends team, the Riot team, they're always hiring game designers to make like unknown games and things like that. Blizzard's another really great example of that. They really love making brand new IP. But Unreal, you know, to put a cap on this entire rant, how this all started, you know, I just go back to it, which is like, the final thing I would say about it is like Unreal's in trouble because they just don't have, as to my knowledge, the DNA. It's not even that they don't have the people. Maybe they even do have the people who are coming up with interesting new games to chase, but they just don't have it in their DNA to make new games that just blow people away. So, you know, I don't know. What are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? I don't know. It's rough. And you can see that in the Fortnite platform. Like my last point with this will be, look at the Fortnite platform, right? The UEFN platform where people can basically make Roblox games. All they've been doing is hiring other people to make games. So they got Rocket League, they put Rocket League in. They got Lego to make a game, they put Lego in, right? But none of these things are like Fortnite level Unreal fronted branded games that they're like, yo, from the makers of Fortnite comes boom. It's like there's nothing there. They're just like grasping at straws, being like, oh, we'll put Rocket League in, that's a great game. Oh, we'll put this in. And you can see that their mentality is the same mentality that produced Fortnite. Like the same guys who thought our game's dying, what if we grab this game and put it in, are the same guys who are like, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll make a platform and we'll grab Rocket League and we'll put it in. Oh yeah. Oh, and we'll grab Lego and we'll put that in. Okay, great. And now, like, you know, they have like a big like purchase with Disney. Like Disney's like a huge backer for them. And so you're probably going to see tons of Disney things happening on Fortnite's platform, but like you're not seeing anything new, you know? Raymond said, well, technically everything is an inspiration from everything. just with a new spin. Like, this game takes inspiration. That isn't bad. No, exactly. Yeah. But I do find, and to your point, I think what I'm talking about is like the nuance, like getting very, very surgical about the differences between, like, because yes, everything's built on everything, right? Like, of course, like there's no new thing to make there, but when you're getting really deep into the like finite, like where do ideas come from, there is a big difference between like people who want to go and take what they see and break it into parts and structure it like they're writing a sentence, right? Like for me, I look at mechanics and I don't see a game and go, oh, wow, like I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that and I'm going to take this and do this. I think of it as like breaking mechanics up into a vocabulary, which I can write sentences, right? But I think when you look at things like Fortnite and you see where Fortnite came from, or you look at things like Minecraft and you look at where Minecraft came from, there's a distinct difference between using game mechanics that you've seen to bolster your toolkit to create new things, right? Which is inspiration. And then there's things like Fortnite and Minecraft where it's basically, I'm going to take something lock, stock, whole, and then put it in here. And then that's going to be, we're going to just compete with them by being like take their game design and put it in. Yeah. Raymond said maybe just the execution of these are lazy, like making a SpongeBob phone, but not making anything special like OS and it's just a phone case. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what, we didn't get to play much today, but I really enjoy you guys bringing this up. I've been thinking about this a lot, obviously. Yeah, I think if I was Unreal, I'd be pretty nervous right now. I'd be very nervous. This has happened before, by the way. This happened on mobile when Clash Royale came out. There's these charts that show, I don't know if they're still around. I wonder if I could find one real quick. It's kind of wild. They're really great, by the way. The Clash Royale team, Supercell. Those guys are a really great example of a company that, even on mobile, they take things that are mechanics to create something new instead of just taking a game and retheming it, right? And like barely changing it. Anyway, there's this whole thing, if I could find it. Let me see if I can find this. Where when Clash Royale came out, every other game, like you could see the deflating amount of downloads, and this is what I think is going to happen to them. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it here, but it was wild. How do I find this? Clash Royale App Store, all other games lose money. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can find this for you guys. Try new AI mode. Yeah, sure, Google. Darn, I can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it, but it's wild. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it. It's wild though. Supercell, when they dropped Clash Royale, you saw like the app market, like all the downloads, and then you see the day that it comes out and you see like it's like downloads go up and then you see the revenue like just dip. And when Clash Royale came out, everyone was just kind of like astounded because they were like, oh my God, we're going to be losing money. So, they're another one that's like, they have it in their DNA to try and make things new and interesting. It doesn't always mean that like everything in your catalog is, new and innovative, like you're some indie, but I do think there's a big difference between companies that do try to do really like, let's make something new and make a new genre, make a new market. I mean, like, and then other companies that just kind of copy stuff. I don't know. It's tricky. Like, Riot did make Valorant. Valorant is basically Overwatch with Counter-Strike. But it does hit that mark for me where it feels different enough that it feels like a new game. Like if I want to play Counter-Strike, I don't always feel like playing Valorant. And if I play Valorant, I don't want to play Counter-Strike. You know what I mean? So they do feel different. It's tricky. But it's definitely not just Counter-Strike. And it's definitely not just Overwatch, right? And even if you were to say matching those two together, I think they did it in a way that made sense for them. This is a pretty interesting conversation, guys. Thanks for hanging out today. I gotta hop off. We didn't get to play very much at all today, but this was really good conversation. I guess I should have just put my whole screen on, and then I could have just put this up as a YouTube video. But you guys get the little keyhole version of my rant in my tiny little box as I get angry about video games. I'm not angry though. I actually want to see video games do really well, be really nice at this point. All right, guys. Well, I gotta jump. I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll play more Deadly Decks. We did get Ashmar down though. Me trying to bright side my limited play today. But in truth, we did get to do a little bit of work on Ashmar. Thanks, Raymond. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for the chat. It was fun to talk about this stuff because, you know, I'm looking for jobs all the time, and let me tell you, there aren't very many of them right now. All I'm seeing is layoffs everywhere. And so it's really interesting industry to talk about. And I'm just trying to make my own way, right, guys? We're just trying to cut our own way. I just want Deadly Decks to be like the right game for a certain set of people out there who just love it. But that's a story for another stream, I guess. All right, guys. Yo, have a great day. Thanks for hanging out, guys. This was so fun. Thanks for all the comments and questions and talking about GTA 6. And yeah, they should hire me. Yeah, GTA 6, if you're watching, hire me. Yeah, go work for Supercell. Hell yeah. All right, guys. Have a great Monday. Enjoy the beginning of your March. I'll see you back here tomorrow, same time. I'm going to start putting a schedule together too, guys. I'm going to try and hit this at 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's when I'm going to try and hop on 11 to 12, so I don't have to feel so pressured to hop off at 12:30. All right, guys. Have a good one. Curtis, wow. Ow.